there, a very good evening to you. You're live here on GHOne TV. It's time for News Tonight with me, Natalie, for a look at our top stories. All is set for the outdooring of the opposition NDC's manifesto for election 2024 as scores of party members troop to the central regional town of Winneba to witness the occasion. But the question is, will what the flag bearer GHOne Dramani Mahama has been saying be any different from what will be in the document?
Why is the hustle? And job no day. So now the bets, they do small, get money for Gobe.
The governing MPP in the Volta region has rubbished claims by the NDC flag bearer that all development in the Volta region is the handiwork of the opposition party. Also coming up, we'll be in Sawam in the eastern region, where police in the area have launched investigations into how a 52-year-old man had in his possession a biometric verification device allegedly belonging to the EC.
Police for not track our.
Ahead in business, importers and exporters clash with the Ghana Union of Traders over the signing of the new Shippers Act. We will find out from Guta just why they are opposed to signing the act into law.
I think that this Ghana Shippers Authority's current Parent Act is there to support we the business community, especially the shipper, the importer and the exporter.
We bring you these stories and much more news here on News Tonight. Do stay. Watching News Tonight here on GHOne TV. Across the world, you can watch us on Facebook and X at GHOne TV. Just a few months to election 2024, and we are your election hub. Top on the news this evening, the largest opposition party, National Democratic Congress, is set to unveil its manifesto in the central town of Winneba tomorrow ahead of the general elections. The party believes the manifesto will address major issues in the country. The flag bearer, GHOne Dramani Mahama, has been giving some promises during his campaign trail. Have a listen.
We're going to introduce what we call cooperative mining. And so all the young people who are interested in mining will register cooperatives. We will get a concession for you and we will divide it amongst the cooperatives so that all of you can do your mining and earn something for yourselves. And we're going to bring graduates from the University of Mining and Technology in Takwa, young graduates who know everything about mining, and we're going to attach them to the cooperatives. So they'll show you how to do the mining in a safe way, and when you have finished the mining, how to level the ground and plant trees on it so that the ground will be reclaimed properly. An NDC leadership will also enhance the quality and availability of online mode of distance learning as a way of diversifying the delivery of tertiary education in the country. These flexible learning options will grant more students access to tertiary education while fulfilling their other employment commitments. Additionally, as the economy improves, we have plans to establish 6 new public universities in the 6 new regions. 1 in each of the newly created regions. This is to ensure that tertiary educational opportunities are accessible across the country and bridge the gap between the newly created regions and the old established regions. And so we don't want, especially in the first year, when the students are coming in for the first time, for them to go through what we call fee stress. And that's why we call it a no fee stress policy. And so we're saying that we can absorb the academic facilitator fees, but it will not affect the subventions of government to the universities and institutions of higher learning. The subvention from government has kept declining. We're going to increase the subvention, but apart from that, we're going to make sure that the university gets their subvention on time. Boys, they hustle. And job no day. So now the bet, they do small, get money for gobe. You see? So I understand, as no say this one, it be matter where they concern the youth, plenty. So we talk already, say where we come, the betting tax will go remove them. We're going to have an independent valuation office. It's going to be independent of government. Any sole sourcing contract must cut down on corruption, allow the anti-corruption institutions to work. If people have taken advantage of the country, they must be dealt with. And that's why I've said, when I come into office and I'm swearing in the ministers, I will give them a caution and say, hey, my friends, Ghanaians are looking up to you. Go and do your work well. If you go and IOCO or special prosecutor comes after you, me, I'm not a clearing agent. I won't interfere. And so in the 4 years that I was in office, actually in the 8 years from Professor Mills's time, we skewed a lot of the scholarships to students who were going to learn petroleum sector, oil management, accounting, oil sector law, and so on and so forth. And there are many students who got those scholarships and are back here in Ghana and working. And so we must draw the lines. We must have a minister like Nana Jenopokwa-Jima who will make sure that the scholarships we are being given are for scholarships that are relevant to the human resource development of this country. And again, the scholarships must go to underprivileged people, young people who come from backgrounds that do not have the capacity to sponsor them. And so again, the social construct of the person's origin should be taken before a scholarship is given.
Flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, speaking there, highlighting jobs, the economy, and the removal of the betting tax. Well, let's engage further with Deputy General Secretary in charge of operations of the NDC, that's Mustafa Bande. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining us here on News Tonight. Now, first of all, run us through preparation.
Event, but we have put measures in place to ruthlessly deal with that if it comes up. And so beyond that, I don't think there is anything that will prevent the program and its success tomorrow. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and party leadership will be speaking to the nation. The national chairman of the party will be speaking. The general secretary will be speaking. The manifesto group will also be speaking. And then His Excellency, who is the man of the moment, the career of the vision, reflecting the hope of this country to rekindle our living standards, to reducing our stress, giving jobs to the people, reducing unemployment, holding government officers accountable to the public. All those roadmaps will be outlined tomorrow.
All right.
For me, what is more refreshing is that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama reflects and represents credibility and integrity in terms of what it does. He has a track record. In his moment of being a president in the last 4 years, many things, developmental things, are the things that Ghanaians can remember him for, including leading a very wonderful infrastructure evolution, contrary to what you can remember of President Akufo-Addo and what you can remember of his party and his government in the last 7.5 years. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is one that is compassionate, two, a man that is honest, three, a man that is amazingly someone that builds a nation. He does not believe that it's about just a section of people or a class of people. He believes that by the ideology of the NDC.
Right. Now, Mustafa, so you simply say preparation-wise, everything is in place. You say that there's nothing that's going to disturb the security and peace of the event. Now, secondly, just run me through. Previously, with the launch of the Youth Manifesto, we had different individuals come to read out thematic areas of the manifesto. Are we likely to see it happen in that same order tomorrow, or will we have the flag bearer handling it entirely?
It will be part of the great event that you'll be watching tomorrow. You'll be seeing various individuals outline people will hear from him speaking to his victims. That is the most important part of the event.
Very well. Thank you for feeding us with those updates. That's Mustafa Gbande, who serves as the Deputy General Secretary in charge of operations of the NDC, sharing updates there ahead of the launch of the manifesto tomorrow. Now, meanwhile, the New Patriotic Party in the Volta region has rubbish claims by flag bearer of the NDC, GHOne Dramani Mahama, that the NPP is using propaganda and money to influence the region's voting pattern in recent elections. At a press conference, the regional chairman of the NPP, Makafui Kofi Wena, said that claims by the opposition party's candidates are unfounded and absurd, while stressing that the NPP owes its recent gains in the Volta region to the monumental achievements and developments that the NPP continues to bring to people of the Volta region.
The press briefing, which was held in GHOne Thursday afternoon, was on the back of some comments made by the NDC flag bearer during his recent tour of the Volta region. Mr. Mahama, during his tour, expressed concerns about the recent gains the NPP is making in the Volta region, a region the NDC regards as its World Bank since 1992. He accused the NPP of relying on monetary inducement and propaganda to achieve this. But these comments, according to the NPP, are insulting, absurd, and unfounded. Regional chairman of the NPP, Makafui Kofi Wena, stressed that the gains his party is making in the region is as a result of the massive development NPP governments continue to undertake in the region in various sectors, including road infrastructure.
The last person to talk about the Eastern Corridor Road is the former President Mahama.
Yes.
For him to stand anywhere in the Volta region and talk about the Eastern Corridor Road will be disingenuous and laughable.
Yes.
The late President Atamin started work on the Eastern Corridor Road from Asikuma Junction before his untimely death.
Yes.
Thereafter, Mahama moved equipment and resources to Fofosu Swala Road in his home region. The Sokode Rodwa Carriage Road has been completed. It was awarded by the NDC in the heat of the electioneering of 2016 in a hasty and irregular manner.
Mr. Wena, in his address, boasted that the NPP has done more in the Volta region than the NDC they have supported since the commencement of the Fourth Republic, and challenged the NDC to show its own records of achievements in the region.
Times have changed, and the people are now wide awake and will demand accountability from politicians and political parties rather than blind faith and religious attachment to the NDC. I wish to conclude by challenging the former president and the NDC to pinpoint projects that they achieved in the Volta region and those that have been abandoned.
Well, let's now turn to the movement for change. Independent presidential aspirant Alan John Kojo Trementing has promised to offer vehicles to drivers in Ghana on a hire purchase that's a work and pay basis if elected in the upcoming December 7 general elections. The former trade minister stated that this initiative aims to ease the bureaucratic hurdles and high interest rates that commercial transport operators face when seeking loans from the banks. Alan Trementing, who is founder and leader for the Movement for Change, made these remarks while speaking to drivers and traders at the 37 lorry station during his meet and greet campaign in the Greater Accra region.
Transportation Muni cars, muni lorries, Mojumano, Muga, Enye, Tianosu Yaba, Abain Pepper Quandia. You bet PM once they say, Alambe, Minister. Once they say, Yasambu cars or Haze. Someone winning. Mimbedi President for you. Mimbedi President. Not Yasambu. Alambe President. Obia, work and pay. Work and pay. Yakraso Kakobo. Namwa Obia be on the car. Na ya work and pay ni atete to kakra yes afa na obi kobo busia na odibebo utrim apo yani abeta kwan a ye be mo obi na work and pay utiti wi a ka da ye wa wodia afa so awu se unya akwanya na ka ne be wodia na fe wadi so ba kon any petrol say the petrol go etie no na say yen siesie economy no ni sika na say ni edia petrol go on time the other day anoti alamba I will fix the economy.
Leader for the Movement for Change speaking there. Well, away from that, the integrity of the upcoming December polls is under threat following news that a 52-year-old man, Samuel Yao Kranting, had been arrested in Nsawam for allegedly possessing a biometric verification device, BVD, believed to belong to the Electoral Commission of Ghana. The incident is said to have happened on Friday. In a video available to Star News, the suspect, Samuel Kranting, claimed that he received the device from an individual named Farouk. Let's have a listen to the accused person narrating what transpired.
The mammy, the offer, the mammy, only there Farouk Mamano. Wow, women say we are the police for not track our Farouk. Watch the boy, my master, me no problem because me can say me won't joke. Because me can say me won't joke. You mean that now? Because we must use looking for secondary school.
Rather concerning developments there. An eyewitness whose name is withheld for security reasons joins me now over the telephone for more. Good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on News Tonight. Now, first of all, you witnessed this occurrence firsthand. Can you clarify if the BVR in question does belong to the EC and was it functional at the point it was taken?
All right, thank you very much. Please, yes, true. The BVD belongs to the Electoral Commission of Ghana. And in fact, when we got hold of it, it was working, just that it was on a low battery. So the moment we switched it on, it had the Ghana flag display, then it beeped, giving us that it's on low battery, then it went off again. So it was in fashion.
Right, so you say this BVD actually belonged to the EC and is working, or just happened to be on low battery. Now, did the police recover any additional devices after the search?
No. Currently, it's only the one that the police took on him. That is the one that they have in their custody.
Very well. Well, is there any other information that you could share that you gathered when at the scene?
Oh, no. The only thing that we asked the one who wanted to sell the machine,
right,
he was saying that he got it from someone from Tudu.
From Tudu?
And he came, from Tudu. And right, he came all the way to Nsawam to come and sell it. That was the information that he gave. So the case is in the hands of the police, and they have assured us that they are going to investigate to the latter.
Very well. Thank you so much for joining us this evening with those updates. That's an eyewitness who saw this event took place firsthand. Certainly more on it subsequently. In other election-related news this evening, Ghanaians are being urged to prioritize the country's interest above other considerations ahead of the 2024 general elections. Chairman of the 2024 Odra Festival Planning Committee, Nana Ewuku Sechi, who gave this advice during the press launch of this year's edition, said Ghana's reputation for peaceful coexistence must be protected to foster development.
The Odra Festival, which commemorates the purification and victory of the Equiapim during the Akatamanso War in 1826, has become a significant milestone for indigenes both at home and abroad. It is a time for cultural display, networking, social cohesion, and development, among other things. During the 2024 media launch, the chairman of the planning committee emphasized that Ghana's interest must be a foremost priority.
We have to think about Ghana first. Ghana first before political parties. And if we think about Ghana first, we think about our youth and the generations to come, we will have peace in this country. All parts of the political divide attend our Odra festivals. You know, we have members of government, members of political parties who are indigents of the party. But because of the respect, because of the decorum and the decency of our festival, we do not turn it into a political campaign. And it will not be a political campaign.
Nana Ewuku Somniamwa, chairman of the security committee, assured patrons of maximum protection during the celebrations.
We've learned a lot from previous years, and so the shortfalls that happen, we are making sure that they don't happen anymore. And also, what we've done is we have augmented the forces over here. We've asked some from region and also from Accra to come and help, and so there'll be a full set of security. We have ambulance services, we have immigration, we have the fire services, and also the national security will be undercover within the crowd.
The celebrations, scheduled from 7th to 18th October 2024, will be preceded by a sanitation drive, tree planting, public lectures, and other activities.
Well, we'll certainly bring you lots more election-related news right here on GHOne TV, Star FM, and across all our sister stations. We are your election hub. Do stay with us.
Ow! Let me see. She's never had a toothache before.
You're welcome back to News Tonight here on GHOne TV. In some more news this evening, Parliament is in search of an alternative meeting place for the September 3 emergency recall. The majority under Article 112, subsection 3, petitioned the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Backbin, for a recall of the House a day after recess to attend to some outstanding matters of urgent importance, including the $250 million World Bank facility. The Speaker, however, failed to summon the House within the mandatory 7 days sitting, citing renovation works in the chamber. Speaking after the inspection of the status of the 2.26 million euros renovation work, Alban Backbin justified his decision to defer the recall. The former Natalie MP, however, assured an alternative arrangement will be made to honour the request of the majority, while cautioning against abuse of the recall provisions.
You are all aware that some members put in a request to me in accordance to our constitutional provisions, Article 112, to recall the House. And so far, our understanding, we've not gone to test it in the courts yet, is that I have no option because he uses the term shall. The Speaker shall, once you are able to get 15% signatories of members of Parliament calling on the Speaker or requesting the Speaker to recall Parliament, the Speaker is by law compelled to do so. It's when you come now, you look at the nature of the business, whether it's a business that falls within that or a business that is just normal business which can be transacted by the House at any time. Because you don't want this to be abused. As you can all see, business cannot be conducted on the floor of the House. And that is why we issued that response. And we're definitely looking for an alternative place. And I'm sure very soon we'll come out with a notice confirming where we could hold the meeting.
More on that subsequently. In other news, Executive Director of Youth Opportunity and Transformation in Africa, Emmanuel Eduji, is urging the government to mainstream youth policies across all sectors to address gaps in the educational system. This comes as only 13.6% of youth strongly agree with the statement that the education system in Ghana prepares the youth for the future. Eduji spoke at the launch of the 2024 Ghana Youth Barometer report in Accra.
Ghana Youth Barometer 2024 revealed mixed reactions among the youth regarding the Ghanaian educational system. While 42.9% perceived that the education system was retrogressing, 40.3% agreed and 13.6% strongly agreed with the statement that the education system in Ghana prepares the youth for the future. Speaking with the media at the launch, Emmanuel Eduji urged streamlining all youth policies with education.
Relates to the transition from education to work, which is the angle that we focused on in this research. However, as you can all expect, it's clear that if we must make more progress and quickly, then government and all other stakeholders have to do a bit more in ensuring that young people take their rightful place as those who drive economic progress. And so what we've seen here today, and as the report confirms, we need to do a number of things. Number one, government needs to forge a more cohesive policy. We heard mainstreaming a lot. We need governments to mainstream education and youth policy across sectors.
Research lead and fellow at the University of Science and Technology, Dr. Thomas Yeboah, expressed concern over the penchant of over 90% of youth seeking to travel out of the country.
One of the key things we found out was that there was mixed views from the young people regarding whether the education system is progressing or retrogressing. The majority said that it was retrogressing, while a good proportion also said that it was progressing. So for those who said that it was retrogressing, the main factor they raised was the fact that our education system still continues to, be dominated by this chew and pour kind of teaching and learning. There is too much focus on theory without practice. But for those who said that it was progressing, the explanation they gave was the fact that at least they've had some form of education to get a certificate that could enable them move ahead with their lives.
The report has therefore recommended 5 key considerations for the government, including equitable access to education, formation of a national youth federation, and strengthening the youth parliament, among others.
The widow of a lecturer at the Ghana Medical School has petitioned the Inspector General of Police for justice following a violent land dispute that has torn her family apart. Faustina Prempeh, grieving the loss of her husband, now faces threats and trauma as a man claiming ownership of their land bulldozes their property and disrupts the peace in their community.
In what should be a time of mourning, Faustina Prempeh is instead locked in a fierce battle to protect her home and the legacy of her late husband, Dr. Abeye Boakye Prempeh. The once peaceful residence they built together now lies in ruins, a casualty of the land dispute fueled by claims of ownership from Theophilus Tego. Faustina Prempeh's heart-wrenching appeal highlights the growing concerns of lawlessness and intimidation surrounding land ownership in Ghana.
And no one is above the law. And also, we are not in animal farm, that people are more important than others. We are all equal, so far as human rights are concerned. After throwing all our medicine away, all the equipment for clinic away, now I'm left with nothing as a widow. I don't have anything to live on.
What is even more worrying is the alleged involvement of some senior police officers in the scandal.
For I learned he has paid money to Ajima Bedu at property fraud. He has paid money to Faustina Kofi. That is why I'm still appealing to IGP. He is a father, and I know he's going to listen to us and come to our aid and put matters right, because those people at the property fraud, somebody said he's been promised a car. Somebody says he's been promised a land.
But Faustina Prempeh is not alone in her cries for justice. Members of the New Jerusalem Pentecost Church, where Samuel Ejiri presides as an elder, have also been victims of Tego's intimidation.
We were here in 2004, before he came here in 2010. We share borders with him. You can see his land. He was never in court with us. He was in court with Dr. Prempeh. So if you have been given possession, you go and execute your possession with the person you were in court with. You were not in court with the Church of Pentecost, so you don't extend your possession to the Church of Pentecost.
Venungwa Stool, which has jurisdiction over the disputed land, has distanced itself from Tego's actions, labeling them as illegal and fraudulent. They've taken legal steps against him and are calling for immediate action to prevent further chaos.
Wadumo na janta ojo gba akashi ni wadumo bi ene wadumo nu wa sit no ni won yi nu wa mi no na wa tu ate ko na bi te ko aka wa ka cho le bo te lo alo acho la afote wa tu an wo bi te ko aka wa kala ja wusun lo aka te ko aka abele ni hi agba sisin na wa mo fe mo ni te ko la aka le ji enyi ni le ji eche ni le ha la ki na ke ba gbele nu wa sit no won ke na kan mo aka echi e ka ya se te ko kwa mo mi nka ba ba pe face to face the police station o ka mi aka okoto mi o pa mi o monande ka ahin epo he no ba forward no ba ni na mi ta ko kaje mo ko hie ni no bo ba ko o bo le ta flache o ya no shiton here our good 17 years they were late.
The allegations surrounding 2 high-ranking police officers, Director General of CID, COP Faustina Kofi, and Director of the Property Fraud Unit, Ajiman Bedu, have ignited controversy. However, both officers firmly deny any wrongdoing. In a response to this reporter, they emphasized that their involvement in the matter was strictly professional, aligning with their duties to maintain peace while legal procedures ran their course. Despite these denials, the concerns raised by Faustina Prempeh and others remain urgent. Their plea is clear. Let the rule of law stand firm, and let those in power be held accountable, ensuring that the vulnerable are protected from exploitation and abuse.
Now, inhabitants of Lukula, in the North Gonja district of the Savannah region, are calling for urgent intervention from the Gonja and Mamprugu traditional leaders amidst escalating tension and persistent conflicts. The community, plagued by violence, loss of life, and stalled development, believes that the intervention of their overlords and the governments could finally bring peace to their troubled land.
quiet town of Lukula in the North Gonja district of the Savannah region has been peaceful until recently. A long-standing land dispute between the Gonja and Manprusi communities has left the area engulfed in conflict, stalling development and threatening the livelihoods of its residents. Amidst growing frustration, the community, led by local leaders and youth activists, have come together to call for immediate intervention from the overlords of Gonja land and Mamprugu traditional areas. They are also urging the government and security agencies to take decisive steps in apprehending those responsible for perpetuating the violence.
There are some people among us, even our own brothers, they are coming here to be killing people. Everybody in this community know them. They're from us. So we are appealing to opinion leaders to stop that people to come here and be killing us again. We want peace.
A significant step towards peace was taken when the overlord of Gonja, Yagbonra B. Kunto Jehu Swale I, visited the Nairi Na Bahagu Mahami Abdullahi Sheriga. Both traditional leaders pledged to work towards a lasting solution to the decade-long land dispute that has torn the community apart. Despite these efforts, tensions remain high.
Last 2 years, one of our sub-chief has been killed just because he has told the truth. I'm also standing here to tell the people the truth. The actual fact that if I will even say this and my head will be cut tomorrow, I will say it and my head will be cut.
In a powerful message to his people, Chief Haruna Mahama urged calm while warning those behind the conflict to stay away from Lukula.
Last 2 years, one of our sub-chief has been killed just because he has told the truth. I'm also standing here to tell the people the truth. The actual fact that if I will even say this and my head will be cut tomorrow, I will say it and my head will be cut.
As Lukula waits for the promised intervention from their traditional leaders, the hope remains that peace will soon prevail, allowing the community to rebuild and move forward, free from fear and uncertainty.
You're watching News Tonight here on GHOne TV. And some more news this evening. How would you feel if you had to wake up each day to work for 11 months and never received a penny in allowances due you? That is the story of Doctor of Pharmacy house officers, or simply called PharmD house officers, who finished their 6-year program last year and recently completed their 1-year mandatory housemanship. After a series of letters, media engagements and countless assurances, the house officers say they have not received a penny due them. They have therefore served notice that they will sue the Ministry of Health in pursuit of what they believe is due them. Dr. Prince Oheneba Apieje Osei is one of the leaders of this group, and he joins us via Zoom for a conversation. Good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Now, first of all, prior to taking this decision to sue the ministry, what were your engagements with government like, and when did these engagements take place?
So let's up.
Yes, I hope you're hearing me.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you very clearly. Now,
Yes,
I was asking, great.
So, this whole...
Carry on.
Okay, so this whole house management thing was supposed to happen between January 2023 and December 2023, because it's supposed to be a 1-year thing, and we graduated somewhere in October, so we wrote our professional exam in December 2022 and passed. That means that between January 2023 and December 2023 was supposed to be a housemanship. But because of the economic challenges the country was facing, we were told to wait till we have financial clearance from the Ministry of Finance. As at May 2023, we didn't have financial clearance. And so the Pharmacy Council and the society, which is the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana, admonished us to start our housemanship so that it won't create a backlog for those who are behind us.
Right.
And we agreed because they assured us that they were going to work on our financial clearance, and then as soon as possible we're going to be cleared. Now, we worked between June 2023 till May 2024 without our allowances because we were not cleared. Now, somewhere in February 2023, 2024 this year, we started asking questions. We asked the relevant stakeholders, and we're told that they were working on our clearance. As at 4th March 2024, we were told we have clearance. And so the next question was, when do we start our biometrics so that we can be mechanized into the system? We later found out that we actually didn't have clearance. And so somewhere in May, we contacted the authorities again to no avail. The end of May, we went to see the Deputy Minister of Health, who assured us that he was going to work on it. And so on 4th June 2024, a meeting was convened with the relevant stakeholders. We're told that we don't have clearance. And so we should hold on and wait on the council and the Ministry of Health to write Ministry of Finance to pay us. Today is 23rd August, and we've officially not heard anything. And so the letter you are seeing is a notice to the Attorney General and the Ministry of Health asking that they address us as soon as possible. That's within the next 30 days. Otherwise, we will seek for legal redress in the competent court of jurisdiction.
Very well. So you say within the next 30 days is when you're expecting a response to this. Prince Oheneba Apieje Osei, Dr. Osei, that is joining us this evening. More on that subsequently. You're watching News Tonight. We've got business news next.
The business segment.
In business news this evening, the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana urges President Akufo-Addo to ignore calls from some players in the commercial shipping industry against assenting to the recently passed Ghana Shippers Authority Law 2024. The bill, which is seeking to streamline fees and charges within the industry, was passed before Parliament went on break. Weeks down the line, the passed bill is yet to be assented to by President Akufo-Addo amidst opposition from some industry players. Speaking to the development president of the association, Samson Asaki Awingobit described the opposition as unfounded.
We were told that even this Parent Act has the membership of in the board considered to add AGI, Chamber of Commerce, and Ghana Union of Traders in this current Parent Act that was Civil Authority Parent Act that was amended. Again, they agreed that they were going to set up an ad hoc committee who will comprise with the stakeholders and the civil authority and government so that we will draft out the LI to properly regulate or to properly do the implementation for the Ghana Civil Authority to invite us to form that ad hoc committee that will look into the LI. And so I was so surprised to see today that my colleagues have issued a statement saying that the president should not sign. I think that this Ghana.
Well, let's stay on this a while longer and speak with President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Joseph Obing, for more on their opposition to this new Shippers Act. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you for joining us here on News Tonight. Now, just kindly clarify, why exactly are you against the assenting to of this new act?
So we are not against the act itself,
right?
But some sections of the act that doesn't augur well for the business community. That's what we are bringing the attention. We have actually drawn the attention after the act has been passed by Parliament, because the draft was not given to us for consideration. And so when we saw those anomalies, we drew the attention of Ghana Shippers Authority, and they said that they are going to use the LI to correct those anomalies. Then because upon further consultation, we are told that we cannot use the LI does not override or the LI cannot override the act, and so we should be careful. And that's why we say we are telling the president to hasten slowly, and then let us rectify those anomalies in the act, rather than say that we are using the LI to rectify it. Our major concern have been the registration. Because the registration as it is, we are being made to apply for registration before we can import goods. And this is a restriction of importation. It means that because it says that they can also withdraw one's registration and even cancel. Hello?
Yes.
That they can even cancel your registration. It means that they are ushering us into the import license regime or the import permit regime, which it does not operate in a liberalized economy like the one that we are practicing.
Very well.
And so, exactly. And so, they are also punishing anyone who do not register and bring goods. You know the penalty point. The maximum is 5,000 units, and 1 unit is 12. It means that one have to pay 50,000 as penalty or as a punishment, as a fine. Or imprisonment. This is too harsh.
So it's too harsh, you feel? Those are your concerns.
Yeah, for registration. And so when we objected to it, they said they use the LI. We are not convinced with that. That we should be treated in the act itself. And so that when we as president sign it, there wouldn't be any problem. And then we will have a full protection. Also, they are saying that we should submit all our document, advance shipment information to them. This information is what we give to customs and the ICAMs. And so it doesn't have any relevance to the operations of the Ghana Shippers Authority at all.
Right.
And that's why we are saying that because some of these things came some 10 years ago.
Right.
And then
Dr. Joseph Obing, for purposes of time, we'd have to round it up here, but to clarify, you say your concern and the reason you're calling on the president who assents to it to hasten slowly is particularly the registration, which is your major concern. Yes?
Yeah. So the registration is our major concern. And so because the way it is cash, it is being made to look like a permit or a license. But we are not supposed to get a license before we apply our trade or do our import. That is not correct. Yeah. So we want it to be corrected before the president gives assent
to it. Dr. Joseph Obing, thank you so much for your time this evening. President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association joining us there. And that wraps up the business segment for tonight.
Anyaba, the Business Development Officer of Samatex, has urged government to focus on infrastructure development to improve sports development in Ghana. Right to the Vice President by Women's Promise of provision of passes to Ghana Premier League clubs on the game on GHOne TV and Star, Paul Anyaba revealed that most Ghana Premier League clubs have bigger issues to contend with, and the provision of buses is the least of those concerns for the clubs.
I think that the Vice President, if elected, will not be under obligation to give anyone such a gift. So ordinarily, when someone out of goodwill is giving you a gift, you should be happy, especially where we are coming from. We are always on the road, and when your bus breaks down and you have an alternative one, it's a good news. So we will be much happy. However, we feel that on the needs, if you want to rate the things that
Activist, golf enthusiast and philanthropist Stephen Onaivi is urging Africans, regardless of their social or economic status, to endeavor to give back to society. According to him, it should be a personal imperative for everyone to contribute in some way to make a difference in the cause of humanity. He made the comments at a prelude event to a golf tournament organized by him, dubbed Play with Stephen for Autism Awareness and Education at the La Palm Royal Beach here in Accra.
Which began in 2020 has been supporting 2 autism centers in Ghana and 1 center in Nigeria respectively. At the pre-event,